This is Maya from the Worldwide Good News, and I have a wonderful, wonderful guest with me all the way from Vancouver, Canada. I have Brock Tully, the world kindness, inspirational speaker, author, musician, cyclist, event organizer, volunteer, person of the year. Have I forgotten anything? How are you?
That was really nice introduction. I really appreciate all those things.
So how are you today?
I'm actually doing really, really good. Yeah, I've just been really busy. We just finished doing the World Kindness Concert, so I'm just kind of resting a little bit right now.
Okay.
And we're out curling last night, so my voice has gone a little bit. I don't know if people in the world know about curling, but it's a beautiful game on ice, and you can scream a lot, so my voice is gone.
That's great. I know a little bit. I used to live in Vancouver, so I know a little bit about curling.
Oh, it's a great game.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the World Kindness. How did that came to be? I know that you're taking a break from it for a few months, but how did that come to be? The whole concept is so beautiful.
Well, the World Kindness Concert actually came out of, I co-founded the Kindness Foundation of Canada, and that was to raise awareness for a kinder world. And what we do is really focus on the solution and the prevention of things like bullying and the violence and abuse of not just people, but nature and animals and everything. But we really focus on kindness as a solution to all those things. So that's how it all started. And then we needed to raise some funds. So I started the World Kindness Concert 10 years ago, and we just had the 10th annual. And all top performers from all over, actually. My goal is to have it at BC Place for 55,000 people and have performers from all over the world in the name of kindness and have it telecast all over the world. So my vision is very global and huge, and it's really grown here in Vancouver.
I mean, you've done also World Cycling for Kindness, right? You did American, Canadian, and Mexican tour. Mm-hmm. I've seen there's a website, Kindness Rocks. Right. You've written books about kindness. Where did this come from, that energy, that motivation? How did that start, and what are you seeing it evolve to?
Well, that's a great question, Maya. It started way back, in 1970, and I was at university at the time, and I was playing football, and I was in a fraternity, but I was drinking a lot, and I was very much out of touch with my heart, and I was actually quite suicidal and very depressed. And I jumped on my bicycle in 1970 and went 10,000 miles, about 18,000 kilometers, and it was just a journey back to my heart. I was packs all over my back. It wasn't like now with the nylon packs. And I went all over the United States, through 33 states and all of Mexico, and out of that came my little reflection books, which are little inspirational thoughts. So that's how it all started. And then I started the Kindness Foundation in between there. And 30 years after my first one, my wonderful wife, Wilma, and I did another bicycle trip with an incredible support team. And we went from Vancouver to California, over to Florida, up to New York, New Brunswick, and back across Canada. And that was about 18,000 kilometers or 11,000 miles. And every Sunday we had kindness conferences where people shared stories about kindness. And it was amazing. And then 8 years after that, in 2008, just a couple of years ago, I did a solo trip all over mid-America in the winter, and that was a really tough one. I was pulling a 70-pound trailer, but I was speaking at schools most every day. I'd come in and speak to 400 kids at an assembly, and just on the spur of the moment. It was beautiful. And I do a multimedia presentation that's really inspiring and moving and touches the heart and gets people thinking about giving more rather than what we can get in life. It's more about what we can give in life. And that's what I think really makes a difference. And I think deep down inside, we're all very kind, but we've lost touch with our essence, and we move from our heart to our head like I did before, and I still do.
So, the books, the reflection books, you actually had how many books out now?
Well, I've got 8 books, 5 different little reflection books, and then I have 2 children's books for grown-ups, and then one on my original bicycle trip. And the reflection books are little books of thoughts. Like, here, I'll give you a couple of examples. One is, the first one I ever wrote really was, I'd rather be seen for who I am and be alone than be accepted for someone I'm not and be lonely. Mm. And one of my most recent ones is, every human being is one of a kind. To be human is to live as one and be kind.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So that's the kind of thoughts that I write. Here, I'll give you another one just for fun.
Yes, please.
I may not be able to change the world I see around me, but I can change the way I see the world within me. So it's really our attitude and, how we look at life.
Yes, it's all about your perspective. That's so beautiful. So besides all of that, what would you, besides these beautiful quotes, how would you tell, somebody who was like you when you were in college, a kid, a girl that comes to the same bad place, that dark place, what little tips and advice would you give them to get out of that space and be more of kindness, be more of service?
That's such a great question, and I get that all the time. And the thing that I've really learned, and it's the hardest thing, is to try not to give advice. Because but I like to give suggestions. I think the most important is what you said, is to be of service, to be an example as best we can, and that's why I do these events. Because another thought I wrote is kind of about that. It's kind words impress, kind actions leave an impression. And we actually do things. That's what people remember. So if I see people, and I see it every day, people that are really out of touch with their heart, like I am sometimes, and the way I was really a lot, I just really try to suggest, getting back in the moment, because our head is really the past, and we're worried about our future. And when we're in the moment, we're in our heart, So things like Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now and that kind of thing, but being really, really present. So if you're out for a walk, instead of thinking, and beating ourselves up what we do so much or whatever, is to get back in that moment. And one of the events that I run here, it's called One of a Kind Stories. And that event is about somebody's story of how they faced some real tough challenge and how they're overcoming it. So it's their story. They're not teaching. It's not about teaching. It's about talking in the eye and sharing what we feel. Because I think that's what's missing the most in the world, and is that we don't talk about feelings. We don't communicate. We don't share as a family. And so we hold a lot inside, and we end up in programs like AA or different kinds of programs where they say we're only as sick as our secrets, or we're suffering in silence. So I try to do events to get people to share what they're feeling. So that's, I guess, more what I do when I see people is just hopefully try to listen and hear where they're at so they can start to share.
Yeah, that is so important. And the listening is such an important tool, because most people just want to be listened to. And I think once you actually be that, you are that.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do, just listen to somebody. I mean, that's, I think, the most kind thing you can do sometimes.
I think so. I think, we're so tempted, because when I see somebody, because you care so much, we care as people, right?
Yeah.
We're so brought up to try to fix things, which we want to do, and that's why with the Kindness Foundation, it's about prevention, like I was saying, which is hard to raise funds because people don't get it, because they don't see that in the moment. So because we often really want to fix things, because we do care as people. We really care about each other, but we want to fix somebody, or we want to fix a situation, whereas really it's about education, prevention, getting to the solution, right? And so when the tsunami hits, it's really important that we're there as people to help and to be there. It's really important if somebody's got cancer or MS, we need to be there to band-aid or fix things, but we need to get to the cause of those things, how we eat, how we take care of ourselves, how we care about each other. But what I see most, and because I'm in the schools a lot, is because young people don't get a chance to share their feelings, they hold things inside. And then we start to beat ourselves up. And when we start beating ourselves up, our self-esteem goes down. We start to want to drink or do drugs. And then on the bicycle trips, I just saw how epidemic it is with the drugs and different things, the depression, the obesity, not taking care of themselves. It's just epidemic.
It is, and it's sad. But I mean, what we can do is be more aware of everything and remember that we're an organism. Humanity and the earth is one organism. So if we take care of all the organisms of ourselves, our psyche, the planet, the way we eat, what we eat. I mean, I'm a vegetarian for 18 years now, and I go in and out from veganism as well. I mean, that is my kindness. I mean, I want to be kind to animals, and I want to be kind to my body and know what I bring in. So exactly, you're talking about that. I mean, kindness is such a great word that can be strung into everything.
That's right. And it begins like what you said, kindness to ourselves. Because if we're not happy ourselves, see, I was brought up by my parents who would say, well, after all we've done for you, or, this kind of thing, that we owe people things. And then my brother said, you got to do in life what makes you happy, because when you're happy, you're going to give more to other people. So it sounds like it's selfish to take care of ourselves first, but when you're happy, you're much more giving, you're vibrant, you're excited. And when you're happy, you see that we're all connected too, you see that we're all one. And so you want to think what's best for the higher good of all. Whereas when we're not happy, we're always thinking, oh, I need this, I need the trophies, I need the money, I need the marks in school. We're always thinking something out there is going to make us happy, right? But if we're really happy, then we enjoy the marks and trophy, and then it becomes a home and not just a house. One of my little thoughts in my books is there are a lot of homeless people living in big houses, but at somebody's funeral or at people's services, nobody ever says, Joe or Mary had such a great house, or did you see the car they had? It was always the kind of person they were. That's exactly. Nobody ever brings up the things they owned.
No. That's a wonderful, wonderful thought. So for the future, what are you planning for the next year or so, and how can people engage and help and support this wonderful world you created?
Well, the greatest thing people can do now is with the Kindness Foundation, which is kindnessfoundation.com. As of about 2 to 3 weeks from now, we're going to have toolkits online, how people can be kind in the workplace, programs that they can do, and programs at schools and at home. And it's just fantastic. Our website is so beautiful. It's going to be global, and people can see ways that they can be kinder, and programs in schools. It's so exciting. And then they can go to the other websites, which I guess you'll be able to put up, and like the worldkindnessconcert.com and oneofakindstories.com, and then Kindness Rocks that you asked about, and that's kindnessrocks.net. Kindness Rocks is a great show that I started with two wonderful people, and these two people are really the force behind it. They do shows all over the world called Abacadabra, based on ABBA's music, and they just performed in Malaysia. And when the tsunami hit, they actually performed there when the tsunami hit. But they've been there the last 15 years. They go all over, and they do all these incredible shows. Well, we've put together a show with a backup band, young band, and that are really, really great. And we do songs that really mean a lot. And at the schools, we transform the gymnasium, and it's like a rock concert, but all positive songs. In between the songs, the band will talk about how they were bullied or how they have been a bully. And it's just a beautiful concert. And I come out and they show a little video clip of one of my bicycle trips around North America, and the kids are just yelling "Kindness Rocks," and they all get these bracelets. I'm wearing a bracelet, and it's kindness in 9 different languages.
Oh,
and what the kids do, and adults and everybody, is they put them on their left wrist, and when they do an act of kindness, they move it to their right wrist, and they do that every day. In the morning, they put it on the left wrist again, and then they be conscious of being kinder. So it's about the prevention. It's about, you don't stop bullying. You do something about it by doing kind actions. And when you do kind actions, you feel good. And when you feel good, your self-esteem goes up, and everything works out. If we can get everybody in the world wearing these kindness bracelets, it would be fantastic.
Where do we get one of those kindness bracelets?
They'll be able to get them online soon, probably in the next few weeks, hopefully. People can always contact me if they want a lot of. One school got 500 of them for all the students in the school.
That's great.
Really exciting to think, that all these kids are being conscious of being kinder. It is really those simple things. It's the simple things that people remember. You ask anybody, if I'm speaking at something and I'll say to the audience, does anybody remember an act of kindness? And, it'll be something 30, 40 years ago when somebody just stopped and did something. Maybe they were feeling down that day, or they had a flat tire, or helped them across the street, or it's those little things that people do remember. And you wonder, wow, why don't we do those more often? Because they're so memorable.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, well, you're sure great, Maya. I sure appreciate what you're doing, and that you have this program, and that you have this vision, and what you're doing in the world. I mean, that is so fantastic. It's people like you that are making such a huge difference. And people say, what can I do? I'm just one person. Well, look at you. Thank you so much. That was really inspiring for me.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And this was Maya from the Worldwide Good News.